Who would you guys like me to go first?
Sure, go for it.
Yeah. With the case study, I know we have to like go through like a set thing.
Yeah, I was trying to find it. Did we just like summarize it and then we're all like discussing different things?
Yeah, and I say we'll summarize it, and then there's like barriers and facilitator synthesis, therapeutic recreation, innovation, and professional collaboration. I'll say it's in the assignment if you guys want to pull that up while I'm explaining my
Yeah, I just found it.
cool.
Um,
Yeah, I'll say I'll explain my case study then. Well, my case study consisted of with my grandfather. His name's Bob, by the way, and he's a 78-year-old living with chronic lymphocytic leukemia. And I centered everything around his identity within the assessment. And physically, he has very low endurance and difficulty with prolonged standing, but he has a strong body awareness and self-pacing strategy. So it kind of balances itself out. And he's just an older generation guy too. So he definitely has like a very strong-willed mindset. And then cognitively, his mechanical reasoning remains sharp. Socially, he prefers small, purposeful interactions. Emotionally, he is stoic and self-willed, which I realized is both a strength and a potential barrier, as Haider was saying within the um, discussion in the case study. So that's where that comes in. And instead of trying to fit him into a traditional senior recreation program, I developed within my innovative rec therapy intervention the neighborhood fabrication and repair program, which is a small group garage based mentorship that would happen like 4 days a week, and a fabrication workshop as well to go with that. And it integrates fatigue check-ins, structured rest breaks, adaptive equipment, and guided project-based conversation. Emotional support is embedded with purposeful activity rather than separated from it. And the biggest takeaway from this and the conversation I had with him was therapeutic recreation is not about adding the activity, it's about adapting the purpose in his identity, which is a main weakness, I guess I would say, or limitation that he has right now because he's been out of his construction business for so long. So it kind of took a toll on his identity and his purpose in life while he's been retired. And so his community is not large organizations. It's more or less like his garage, his home, and his trusted circle, which is myself and my family and his friends around our hometown in Colorado. So the intervention really strengthens his ecologically or ecology rather than relocating him into a new one. And that was basically a summary of my case study within my assessment with my grandfather. I know it's a lot of jabber words, but yeah,
No, it was interesting.
no, yeah, he definitely like when I said a strong-willed guy, like he definitely is like a man of very few words, and
Yeah,
I'm saying he's also for reference as well. He's had a broken back for 8 years, and he's never done anything about it. And he was like, as long as I know how to use my body and like be able to do the things I need to do, he was like, I don't really need to fix it. And I was like, kind
that's
of not. I was
crazy.
like, that's kind of not what you should do, but
No,
yeah, I was
but
like, you probably feel a lot better if you actually went and got surgery, but
yeah, whatever
yeah.
floats his boat.
hmm And medication definitely was a huge part too. Like he takes this medication called Imbruvica, which is a prescribed medication for his lymphocytic leukemia, and
Hmm.
it's very expensive. And the insurance companies are very well like within helping with that because each capsule he takes is about 26 capsules total every day, and the capsules cost themselves $400 a piece, like per
Holy crap.
capsule.
Holy
And
crap.
so every month he spends about $14,000, or the insurance does, just to pay for that medication to pretty much keep him alive. And so his daily activities though help. He likes cooking. He always cooks holiday meals and things like that. And um he also has very bad joints too within his shoulder and his knees. And just from all of the um over usage, I guess, of his from his construction days that he did growing up, and he's been within like a sawmill and a sand mill as well. So he's been taking in a lot of different chemicals and a lot of different bad things that you shouldn't take in normally
Yeah.
throughout his whole life. So, but yeah, that's basically what I uncovered within my case study. Yeah.
Uh, are we supposed to all go first and then ask the questions, or are the questions supposed to come after each person goes?
I would say we can do it. You guys all present your case studies and then we'll talk about it after that.
Okay.
So whoever wants to go next. It's a lot better too than having a huge group.
Yeah, I'll go. I don't care.
Okay, I don't care.
Uh, so I did mine for my dad. At first I started because we just found out that he has there's not like really a name for it, but it's just like elevated lipo little a. So it's like a whole heart issue and I like just recently learned more about it, but it was just like I wanted to pick that because it was really interesting because his doctors didn't want him to get tested for anything heart related because he's like extremely healthy and like no one would suspect anything and they would have to do like a couple things to check, I guess. But he just like had a sense that something was wrong. So he got like the full like blood panel and it came back like his lipo was like extremely high. So he went in and he had 80% blockage in his widowmaker artery, and like a bunch of them were at least 50% blockage. So he literally could have had like a heart attack at any moment. So like it's just kind of crazy that the doctors like didn't. I mean, like it makes sense, but like if it weren't for him second guessing it, like we don't know what could have happened. So that's why I wanted to pick that because I feel like that's very interesting. But we talked a little bit about that and a little bit about he also has RA, rheumatoid arthritis. So I actually haven't talked to him a lot about that either. But basically, he found out like maybe 12 years ago, and he said that it's been like a huge journey since then to figure out like what works best for him and like how to fix it for himself because apparently everyone's different. And he's been through like maybe, I think he said like at least 10 doctors to figure it out. And so I feel like that's definitely one of the barriers is like finding out and like figuring out like what works best for you. And that's kind of an issue with a lot of health issues is that, like they can identify it, but then you have to figure out how to fix it. And that's took him over 10 years, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, some barriers would be like, thank God, like he doesn't have a job that's like you don't have to stand, you don't have to do labor work. Like the pain was really intense, like with his knees and his like he couldn't walk for a little bit. Um, yeah, so luckily he just had an office job, so he was okay. But some support during this was definitely like 100% family and friends, as it is for a lot of people. Um, I mean, it's hard like going through, like, even I have some health issue, and I'm just annoyed that I have to switch over to my third doctor. Like, I can't even imagine like 10 doctors and 10 years later. So I'm impressed by his patience, but he's now found he calls it like a miracle, his little miracle of what works for him. And yeah, I just thought it was really interesting some like constraints and facilitators like he said one was the environment, like if it's dry or like I'm pretty sure if it was dry, it would make his arthritis like way worse, which I thought was very interesting. Um, he said also that obviously all the doctor's appointment were very expensive, doing that all the time. And then his medicine right now, he does shots once a month, I'm pretty sure, um, which I'm sure it's covered by insurance. So it's not really daunting on like the price and the finances, but and then his new for his lipo little a being elevated, he has to take like some cholesterol shot like once a month. And I think each one is like 400 or something. I don't know if it's once a month, but it's at least once a month.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he has a lot going on, so I figured he would be the best option to pick. But yeah, he said his favorite thing is kind of just doing family activities and hanging out with everyone. That really makes him feel the best. And his community base was basically he's a part of a country club. All he does is golf, so that's his whole community. He found that like extremely helpful. He didn't really find any like complaints with like community or society, like something that could help him better with like everything. He just likes going to church. He feels like he has a really strong community, so he didn't really have any complaints or anything. Um, but yeah, that's him.
Did you have like a solution like from the case study?
Um, what do you mean a solution?
Or like, at the very bottom of the case study, she had us like do like an innovative idea.
Oh, yeah. I would say just I feel like what helped him the most was just being around family and stuff. So I feel like doing something like community wise or like a small group kind of thing or um, I don't know. I feel like having groups where you have something that's like related to like just you guys makes you feel really like comfortable and that you can open up to people. Especially like a lot of people like you don't even know that he has RA. Like no one would know. Like no one knows that you have that pain. No one knows that you can't like stand for a long time. So like being around those kind of people is probably better.
Yeah.
To have like a small group.
Say like maybe a small group of golfing buddies that have
Yeah.
similar things.
Yeah, his golfing buddies. I'm sure they all have knee problems, so
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Golf's not for the weak. And it's
yeah, it's not.
a lot of standing. That's why I love driving the golf cart.
Yeah, that's my job. I just sit in the front.
It's not a bad job.
And the wrist too. It's all everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I say I played baseball, so I definitely know it's a lot similar
Oh
to,
yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah, basically.
except for I can't hit a golf ball to save my life. And I was like, I could hit a baseball just fine, but I can't hit a golf ball. It's so hard.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's how my boyfriend is too. Whenever we go to Top Golf, he just thinks that he's gonna be really good, but just
Not the case.
nope, nope, nope. We're at the same
I,
skill level.
I understand exactly where he's coming from. But
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
So it sounds like a very interesting case study.
yes. He's a very interesting dude. He's also very like strong-willed like that too. Like he when I was saying like, is there anything that the community could provide for you? And he was like, no, I can provide for myself. Like I don't have any complaints. Like yeah, he's pretty chill.
Good. That's what it sounds
Whatever happens, happens is his mindset.
cool. All
Yeah.
right. Who else would like to go next?
I can go. Um, I just filled out the little template that she put on, so I'll just read from that. So my case study was about my friend Madison. She's a 19-year-old student from Minnesota, and she has caudal regression syndrome or sacroiligenesis. It's a rare congenital condition affecting the lower spine, pelvis, and lower limbs. She uses a wheelchair for mobility and has strong upper body strength. Um, she has strong cognitive skills and emotional resilience. She's pursuing a biomedical sciences degree as of right now. She volunteers a lot. Um, I said this case was important because it highlights how adaptive recreation can support independence, social engagement, and overall well-being in individuals with complex physical challenges. Madison's key strengths include upper body mobility, problem-solving skills, and social engagement through clubs, volunteer work, and community events. Her primary needs include mobility limitations, occasional hip pain, and restricted access to outdoor sports activities. Ecologically, at the individual level, fatigue and physical limitations affect participation, while at the relationship and community levels, structured adaptive programs and social inclusion are essential for health and leisure engagement. Um, Madison benefits from family support, friends, school peers, healthcare providers, and community programs. Her healthcare team, including orthopedists and therapists, helps manage hip pain and mobility challenges, while community recreation programs and her college provide social and leisure opportunities. Some gaps would be limited outdoor adaptive programs, inconsistent structured social recreation, and low societal awareness of caudal regression syndrome. These barriers reduce her ability to engage fully in physical activity, explore new leisure interests, and expand social connections. And my idea was Adaptive Adventure and Leisure Skills Program, which is designed for people with conditions like Madison's. The program helps provide participants The program helps participants enjoy meaningful leisure and recreation in a safe and supportive environment. It includes outdoor activities, like outdoor adventures like wheelchair accessible trails, nature walks, and camping, and some indoor activities like games, arts and crafts, music, and volunteer projects. Participants can try new activities, set personal goals, and reflect on what they enjoyed the most. The program also helps with social connections, giving participants chances to meet peers, form friendships, and get support from mentors. Staff are trained to use adaptive equipment, make transportation accessible, and ensure safety so everyone can participate.
Awesome. Say, I work as a personal trainer at Ability 360 in Tempe, and they have plenty of what you described, like within what would be good for Madison. So I'd highly suggest telling her about Ability 360. Yeah, because they have a bunch of outdoor leisure activities within adaptive recreation and even adaptive sports. I was like, with upper body strength, sounds like she'd be great. We're wheelchair basketball or wheelchair rugby. I think she would
Yeah.
enjoy that.
She
Because
used to do wheelchair basketball in
also,
high
yeah,
school.
they have
Oh,
a women specific like sport too. Like it doesn't have to be co-ed. They also have all women's team too, which is cool.
Yeah.
yeah, pickleball.
Do we have pickleball?
Yeah, the wheelchair pickleball.
Which is funny because I actually have, well, yeah, it is a thing,
Yeah,
but
that's why I
yeah,
pointed it out.
yeah, I would say, yeah. Everybody always asks me about that, and I was like, I wish we had a pickleball court in the facility. No, we have everything
It's a
but
new
that.
thing, yeah.
I would say Devin Booker, the player for the Suns, he actually donated the basketball, like the funding for a basketball gym within the facility, so they have like the Suns logo on it and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, I highly suggest that though. I think she would get a lot out of that.
Yeah, we'll tell her about that.
Yeah, but great case study. Hater. We'll say
Yes.
we'll talk about it, of course, but
I guess it's my turn,
yeah.
right?
I guess so.
Um, my case study focuses on Maha, a 57-year-old Pakistani Muslim woman living in Islamabad, who also happens to be my mother. She's been managing hypothyroidism for about 10 years. She's also the primary caregiver for her mother, who has dementia and works as an administrator in her family-owned school. Her identity is strongly tied to leadership, spirituality, and family responsibility. Uh, it's weird to call my mother by her first name. I have a panic attack every time I say it, so Maha's most limiting symptom is chronic fatigue, along with brain fog and reduced stamina. Emotionally, she experiences anxiety related to the caregiving as well as her low energy levels. Protective factors for her would be spiritual grounding, her closeness with family, and professional en engagement, I guess, competence maybe.
Mhm.
Um, Her leisure has become narrowed to just low energy, solitary activities because she's mostly tired all the time. She also had a gallbladder removal last year, so pretty low energy. Um, at the individual level, fatigue and cognitive slowing limit her participation in activities across the board. Her caregiving expectations also create strain, but at the same time give her meaning. So it's like a constraint as well as a facilitator or a protection as well as the other word that I'm forgetting that I'm supposed to use right now. Um, at the community level, she doesn't really have any recreational activities that she does through healthcare or the lens of recreational therapy. And societally and culturally, whether that's just on her part or at large, she feels like she has to self-sacrifice, which is a protective factor, but also a stressor. Um, I think the key gap is the absence in any kind of like fatigue-informed leisure recreational intervention
Good
to
job.
support her engagement in society. My proposed intervention was a 10-week program called Rhythms of Restoration. I know it's cheesy. It integrates fatigue-informed pacing with leisure philosophy. So the goal isn't to make her do more stuff, but just restructure how she uses her energy. Um, it focuses on figuring out when she can do things, or energy mapping and low intensity movement. She already spends a lot of time that she calls quiet time. So we would try to integrate reflection into those and meditation and maybe small social engagement since she stays away from long social gatherings. Um, Yes, I don't, I guess the intervention is divided into a bunch of sections, the ecological sections, but the main goals are individually to teach her pacing and awareness, relationally to increase her socializing, even if it's in the form of micro engagement, um, and societally reframing uh, leisure as responsible rather than like she's indulging in something. Um, I'll just say one more. Yes. I think I'm done. That
Yeah.
is it.
Great case study though, and I feel like obviously a lot of the commonalities between all of us is that's very personal.
Yeah.
Like it's all somebody within our family or our friend realm that we all care about.
Mhm.
And we always just want the best for them, of course. So that's why it's nice to, because a lot of the time, like without doing the assessment, I feel like we wouldn't get the information that we got from the case study without actually diving in deep and asking them about it. Especially my grandpa, he hardly says 2 words. That's the most he's ever spoken in
Yeah.
my whole life.
No, that's how my dad was too. I was like, wow, he's like on a tangent right now. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah, my mom kept asking me, why are you asking me this? I said, for the assignment to know. This is the point. She's like, yeah, but no one's ever asked me this. Why are you what?
so that's how my grandpa was at the end. He was like,
Yeah.
"Did I pass?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm the one getting graded on." I was like, "I think you did a
Yeah.
good
I'm
job."
just told to do it.
But a lot of the common barriers too, I would say, would definitely be low endurance between us all,
Yeah.
which is very understandable, of course, given the certain illnesses and chronic conditions that everybody has.
Hmm.
And some of the facilitators of the protective factors, I would say, is family oriented as well.
Yeah, just having a community.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And it sounds like um, each of our case studies too within our family or friends all had a similarity too of shoot, what was I gonna say? It was they all have similarities within keeping kind of a close-ish like close circle and like not wanting to branch out and have like a big group intervention between them. Like they're pretty safe and secure within just their friends and family that they know and that they can confide in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say as well, let me see, some protective factors as well, I would say would be how to adapt to and like the coping strategies that each of our case studies um, people that we interviewed, like they all have an adaptation of some sort within their life of how they get through every day. And that's a big protective factor too, is the adaptation side of how they take it day by day and adaptive how they need to be adapted within their lives. And
We
go ahead.
sorry.
So you're
We are we supposed to ask questions now to each other about the things
I would say
about
we
our
about our case study.
yes.
I would say it says like mention insights, and I guess like that's what I was meaning too of like at the beginning of how we are all like are very like all of our case studies are very personal in like the things that I said earlier, like that kind of targets those, I think. And then if we want to
Mhm.
ask like probing questions or like not solutions, then I would say like um, what else? Like Piper was saying with the therapist, like I would suggest the same for your mom, Haider, and for your dad, Emma, as well. Like occupational or physical therapy could definitely be a huge help within helping them build endurance and being able to find more adaptable ways to like to strengthen their lives too. Like, because that's
Yeah.
basically the therapy of occupational, especially is how to do daily activities with like
Yeah.
adaptations and being able to enhance their life that way.
I also feel like being a part of a community, since my dad is so like on his own and like wants to figure it out on his own, like I feel like he could have gotten like other people's perspective or like what they've dealt with, and maybe it could have like led him to like a result faster.
Mhm.
So I feel like just having any community, I guess, or like community that's also dealing with the same problems, it helps you like learn more and like maybe figure it out too as well.
And that's for even myself, for my grandfather,
Yeah.
like within his small mentor repair workshop program that I would want to have him implement within his garage. Like he could have a close circle that he trusts and is secure with to be able to do like the things they love to do. Because that's mainly what he does anyway. Like the only times he
Yeah.
has with friends is doing like certain projects with each other because they're all carpenters or construction
Mm.
workers. So they all like to do the same things. And for Hater as
Do,
well, I'd say for your mom too, like even maybe possibly having a small group in implement like the intervention you drew up to be able to help with the social interaction aspect. So it's just so she doesn't feel like it's truly like a chore or something she has to do. It's something that she enjoys and has close friends around with that know of her condition are able to help within those certain aspects and know her limitations and know her strengths.
do you guys feel like another limiting factor is like how 5 years ago people didn't believe that mental health was a real thing,
Mm.
and now it's a thing? Do you think people don't believe recreational therapy is real, or like it's an actual thing, like recreation can be therapeutic?
Honestly, I feel like people like downplay it a lot. Like they kind of just think like maybe I'll try it, but then they think that it's not actually, they don't want to put in the effort, so then they want to go like straight to like just taking medicine or something. Like I feel like they don't want to like branch out and because that like recreational therapy is like way more effort, obviously, but it's like but I feel like it's like easier effort, like it's good effort to be a part of like a community and do all these like activities and stuff.
Then it's
But
not like an actual like clinical setting, like where
yeah,
rec therapy can be, of course, but in the outdoor and adaptive recreational sense, like you pretty much have just a set small group that's inclusive, which is like a lot of their similar conditions or limitations that they have within the group to be able to build rapport with each other and build social belonging and know that they have a sense of community within those groups. Yeah, I'd say that's a good point though you brought up.
yeah,
Yeah. And I guess recreational therapy doesn't have side effects, so
Exactly.
that's good.
Yeah,
that is
that's
true.
like
Yeah,
that's where it's crazy because like most people think like rec therapy is like just like a play. That's why a lot of people like
yeah,
combine rec therapy with a play sense is because they just think that they're doing activities and interventions that they like to do. And like it's something that's just very like easy in a sense. Like they don't really actually like know of what the effects are of doing those activities.
Yeah, I feel like you need to have a lot of like knowledge behind it as well. Like my parent or I mean my boyfriend's parents actually are kind of that way where they don't really believe in like doing the recreational stuff first. But I feel like I'm like a health and nutrition nerd, so I've read like so many books and I feel like having that like knowledge behind and knowing that like just simply walking like 10 minutes a day or simply doing like a sport, whatever, like how much impact that truly has like on your mind and body because they just think it's like a casual thing. But I feel like if you have a lot of knowledge behind it, then you'll actually realize like this is benefiting me in so many ways that you can't even think about. And like I feel like that's really passive now. I don't feel like we learn a lot about that and like why we do things. So I feel like that would help a lot too.
Yeah, of course. I'm saying moving within our thing, like the patterns that we all had within like a community or societal level sense is a lot similar to like I said earlier, just having a smaller community, not such a big
Mhm.
community, and having it inclusive and um like autonomy and um social belonging and meaningful participation focused interventions that to where they know the purpose of the activities and interventions they're doing and because
Yeah.
you'll see growth throughout that and seeing being able to actually know within yourself that it is truly working and incorporating within your life.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to therapeutic innovation. So the overlaps with the proposed solutions that we had, like that's where I was saying, how does ideas incorporate recreation or play? Like even Kelly knows, like it definitely our professor had always like recreation and play get kind of like intertwined with each other, but there's definitely a true difference between those two.
Mhm.
And um I'd say all of ours definitely would align with the recreational sense over the play sense. Like just because they are going to be structured interventions or solutions that we drew up within our case studies. It's not like because that's where play is more of a leisure like thing. Like they are able to do it at their own will and whenever they want and however they want. But within our solutions, it's kind of more structured than just a leisure play activity. It's more or less like a set outcome and a set goal of what all each of our plans is wanting out of it within the people that we love and within our case studies.
Mhm.
So for our innovations, or in innovative therapeutic interventions, what is success like for you guys? Like what is the end point or what would a sign of success be?
Between mine, it would honestly be like just building more social interaction, like seeing my grandfather talk with his buddies more within their groups and talk more than they usually do because they only usually talk whenever they're doing those projects. So if they did those projects consistently throughout a week for an X amount of time, I would definitely probably see a big change within my grandfather's social aspect because, like I said, he's very closed off and doesn't really say too much unless he has to. So that's why building that social interaction as well as building the knowledge and education within how to be adaptive because he doesn't know like he only adapts the way he knows how to in the natural way of adapting for him. And so once he learns of how to actually adapt his life and his leisure activities, I think he'll do his activities a lot more whenever he has the stamina to, of course. And that's why I incorporated like rest checks and adaptive equipment and um a bunch of different modifications to his life to be able to help incorporate that.
Yeah, I feel like for mine, like I feel like I'd see success the same thing, like if he's in a small group and he actually opens up, and like the fact that I barely even knew like any details, like I have to ask him to even get any information out, and he makes it like short. So that's why I did like this assignment because I actually got to learn a lot. But I feel like opening up to people around you because even like after I learned about his problem, like I got a blood test done, I got all this stuff, and like he influenced me. So it's like the amount of people that you can influence just by sharing. I feel like that's extremely important. and like sharing your issues as well, like your health problems, because like you learn a lot and you learn different things from a lot of different people. And I feel like for me, like I've talked to so many people and I've been able to piece things together a little bit. So I feel like it would be really helpful for him and like the whole community to like open up and talk about everything.
Yeah, I would say, like for you guys, something that would be really successful is like a social community. And just like, especially with my case study, um, my friend is not super social, so seeing her be able to like have a community that she can um relate to would be really cool. Um, and I think that goes for a lot of people with similar issues.
Mhm.
So that's where Ability 360 is definitely a very strong and close-knit community. So I definitely highly suggest that because they like everybody in there pretty much like that's why they have that facility there for reasons because mostly everybody has a physical or developmental disability of some sort. And so, like being within there and like interacting with all of the members of Ability 360, like I see people that hardly even talk ever, like just come out of their shell totally just because they can relate to those people. Yeah, so I think that'd be a great thing. But our existing resources and strategies for collaboration for it says think sustainability and access. I think we kind of hit it too. Like the existing resources would be like the community side of it, having within like obviously good like certain situations. Like if Haider, your mom, like has a community that she could confide in and be able to implement her intervention in, I think that would be ideal. Because I know you said she lives in Pakistan, right?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm saying if she definitely could find of community around Pakistan, I think that would be a great thing, and obviously within range of your guys' home. And same with Pyper, of course, Ability 360. That's a great community resource to go to for Madison. And um, it would give access to all of our, and within my grandfather, within his small circle of friends that he trusts and is safe with and comfortable. All of those would just build sustainability within our interventions and build access between all of them. So let me see.
This is unrelated to anything, but I think you should get paid every time you say Ability 360 because
Yeah, you're selling it right
it's
now.
worked on me. I'm like, yeah, I should
Yeah, I'm like, I need to look it up.
No, you should.
I
It's a huge facility, and it's honestly the
Still going.
only, yeah, it's really the only in like
Don't stop
I don't
it.
even it just shows like how big of a fact like of impact they've had on me.
Mhm.
Like I've only worked there for a year, and
That's
like
great.
I
that
volunteered
yeah,
there.
no, I think it's great, by the way. I was being silly, but also I meant it.
Well, I'd say at some point you guys definitely should go see it. It's a pretty cool facility to look into.
I think I will.
Yeah.
You sold me.
And if you guys
Yeah.
still need CFE hours too, they always need volunteers. So that's always a
Mm.
plus. That's how I started.
I'm only gonna come if there's pickleball. Sorry.
I think you can set it up at the basketball court.
I'm just kidding.
And say they definitely do have it. It's just
Hmm.
obviously they wouldn't have made the shirt if they didn't have it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So I'm definitely guessing that they do. I just haven't been able to partake in that, which I'm jealous about because I love pickleball. But what
I
recreational?
shouldn't
What was
I
that?
shouldn't be allowed to talk. I just derailed the whole this is a project. Just ignore me. I'm
Uh,
gonna stop now.
Kelly's gonna love this because it shows that we're not just all structured and by the book. We're actually having conversation.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
Exactly. And I'm not having a bad time at all.
Yeah.
But, what therapeutic recreation approaches are being suggested and why? I would say most of ours is mostly health promotion oriented and educational and accessibility too, I would say.
Yeah, I would say educational.
Just if developing more knowledge within each of
Hmm.
our case studies that we had. Like just within their own certain conditions and how they can find a community of people that have the similar condition that they're able to be comfortable and secure with and relate to.
I agree. I think it's all like the education is also it's about the condition and recreational therapy and then also about themselves because they haven't really I mean, at least my mother doesn't act like she's missing a gallbladder or anything. She acts like she's on like 7 energy drinks the whole day, and there's no stopping at all. It's bizarre. It's,
Which is great given her condition, like
yes,
obviously great to
it's
see. That's awesome. I see. Decide if an integration of proposed solutions or selection of a single cohesive idea is optimal for the greatest impact on community health. I would say an integration of proposed solutions, just because when you're focusing on just one single cohesive idea, that's where it kind of gets individualized and it's not actually for the common better of a whole, of a group of a whole in a
Mhm.
community. So that's why I think an integration of multiple proposed solutions would be better than just a single cohesive idea because you can actually have a lot more outcomes and goals that because you can that's what I've seen within working with recreational therapists now, like they all have goals for each of their clients or patients or whatever you want to say for it, like, but they also have a set goal for the group as well and what they want to get out of it as a whole. And so I think that's mostly the most like imperative thing to do is have more of a group and integrated um proposed solutions rather than just a single idea for a set group of people because then it gets more individualized and then it gets hard to track the outcomes because well obviously everybody's different from each other, so that's where I feel like the communities and the individuals differ in that sense.
Yeah, I'll just make it feel like more of a community and that like you're all kind of working together. So I think it's like way better to have a common goal that you guys all like accomplish together.
Exactly, because it's more than because then that's called non-inclusion, which is more segregated and more skill-based. And those I've actually did a poster on this for the Astra conference that I have tomorrow or on Tuesday, is of how inclusive, focused interventions and um like meaningful community participation and social belonging and hitting all of those quality of life domains is a lot more effective than it is in a segregated, skill-based, non-inclusive sense. And there's lots of studies to show for that. So that's why I feel like having an actual group and community goal and outcome is a lot more efficient than it would be to have an individualized goal. Because then, yeah, that's where the building rapport and social interaction and social belonging, like all of that comes into plays because you can't get that in a one-to-one session or somewhere that's non-inclusive with a group of people that's a lot similar to you.
Mhm.
We're getting close. We're almost there. All right, role of recreational therapists and other professions in the solution. I would say, like I said kind of earlier, I feel like OT, occupational therapy, and physical therapy would be great other professions to incorporate within all of our case studies. And like you said, what specific therapist works with Madison Piper?
She was at physical therapy for a while, mainly for like hip pain and like shoulder pain.
I was saying that's where, because OTs, they can do more than just like traumatic or like post surgery type of intervention, like type of events. Like they also help with, yeah, like I said, like adapting daily activities to be able to make it easier in improving their lives through that. And so I would say like incorporating physical therapy too for your mom, Haider, and for your dad, Emma, like those would also be very like needed because then it would like your dad, Emma, could definitely help like improve his knee pain and find different ways to adapt to be able to not feel that pain as much. And then
Yeah.
later it'll help build endurance for your mom and being able to feel like she's drank 9 energy drinks normally a day, like without like trying to kind of like cover for, because obviously my mom's the strongest lady I know, so like I feel like that's how everybody feels about their mom and dad, is like they're always going to be strong-willed because they're trying to put on the front for them, for us, for their kids.
Hmm.
What about something like for mental health support during their, or like integration with like therapists or a counselor or something like that? It seems like it would be more in the wheelhouse of the mental health professional to talk about their emotions, whereas an occupational therapist might still understand, of course, but they would need like let's say someone's depressed clinically and they're not doing their recreational therapy because they're depressed, then you'd need someone to get them out of that so they could get into the other thing, or at least work with the
They
other.
psychologists, that's where that would come into, like being able to help assess each of our family and friends, like being able, because like we said, um a lot of our friends or family, like if they're very strong-willed and they're very resilient, like it's going to be very hard to get, like, to have them be comfortable and like to be able to like confide and spill everything that's on their mind. And so that's where they would come in, is because they know how to attack that in a certain way to be able to get what they need out of it, and being able to assess them and seeing how they can help them mentally and intellectually.
And do you guys think regular medical doctors should also be like working with a recreational therapist so the recreational therapist can understand the condition better?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that would that be um like a practitioner,
Mm.
because then they could assess their mental side of it as well as their physical side of it as well also.
Yeah, they should definitely all be connected because I feel like they all equally contribute to getting better.
Exactly. Yeah, so I feel like a wide variety of expertise would be definitely very
Hmm.
beneficial for all of our case studies.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that brings us to the reflection. Discuss the value of the dialogue and lingering questions that you have want classmates and other groups to discuss. So I guess what would you guys say for your guys' case study? Like what lingering questions do you guys have?
Mm.
Kind of what you just said,
I
they're like other professions that would be able to benefit.
Yeah, I guess for me, I don't understand the reason yet why a lot of people, including the case studies that I read and then the ones I commented on also,
Hmm.
it seems like the people who have a condition don't really admit they have a condition. Like it's either acting completely normal or acting like being completely overwhelmed by the condition and that's your whole life. There doesn't seem to be like a
And
middle ground, and I'm confused why that doesn't exist.
hmm I would say a lot of it could be generational side of it. Like when you grow up in a lot older generation, like you know how the old saying, like just rub some dirt on it. Like that
Mm.
type of thing. Like if they actually like aren't on their deathbed, then they're fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
Yeah, that's how my grandpa says. He's like, I just have to take this medication because my doctor forces me to. And I was like, all
Bro,
right.
I'm too
Yeah,
type A for that.
yeah. And he's literally like, man. And whenever a doctor tells me to take something, I was like, obviously they know what they're talking about, so I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I definitely think a generation could be a side of that. And same with my grandfather. Like I guess a lingering question I would have within my own case study would be like that I want the other groups to discuss would be like how, watch, I had it written so right here. Would be like, how would you determine when to like gently challenge a coping style versus like fully designing within it, would be a good question for mine too. Like, because how he definitely struggles with like being unaware of his mental health. And so I feel like that would be a good way is like teaching him how to cope in the styles, the different styles to coping, because everybody copes differently. And so I feel like rather than designing it, like learning how to gently challenge the styles like within himself and within his daily life to in order to enhance his overall mental health and well-being. Because if you have a clear mind, then usually you have pretty good benefits coming out of it physically.
Hmm.
So that's what I guess my question would be.
Yeah, I think going off that and what we talked about earlier, just not only focusing on like physical challenges when it comes to like a disability or illness, like mental illnesses and like the effects on mental health that a disability or an illness can have is like could sometimes be worse than the actual like disability itself. So I think that's like something really important that is good to focus on.
Exactly.
And I'm still stuck on like having the knowledge behind it because I feel like that really drives everything. Like I feel like when I think it was some other case study that I was reading or just a general one, but it was like everyone like my dad, like no one would know that he has RA, but like maybe if you knew about RA, you would like see the symptoms and maybe you would learn a little bit. So I feel like having common knowledge on like um I don't know, like certain health problems and like knowing how to like see it and like how to help it and like even like in a work environment, like maybe having like accommodations or something that could help people with that. And I feel like, I mean, obviously you can't like force people to learn stuff and like people don't really care. But like even if you just like spread the word about it, talk about it, make it more known, people can learn more and then be more aware and then everyone can kind of help each other.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So, well, I'll end it right here for us and